This conference will now be recorded.
Today our concept is data migration. Okay. In the previous session we discussed component migration, right? Component, we are migrating from one instance to another instance. How may we migrating the components? By using change set, workbench, plus some GitHub, Bitbucket, lot of tools are there, right? In this session we are discussing about data migration. Data means what? Data means record, right? Data means record. Okay, data means record. My requirement is I am working with the account object. My client asked me, go and update account record. Okay, go and update some account records. Okay, today our concept is data migration. Data is nothing but a record. Data is nothing but a record. Okay, my client asked me, okay, you have to update one account record. And he provided that account details. What we will do? I will directly open that account record. Okay, I will directly open that account record. Which field he asked to update? I will go to that. Okay, I will go to that and I will update that particular field. For example, he asked type to update that type. Click on the save button. So we updated one record. Okay, we updated one record. Okay, after that my client asked update 100 records. Okay, update 100 account records. Update 100 account record. 100 account records. My client asked update 100 account records, and he provided all the account details, all the account record IDs he provided. And which field he is expecting to update is nothing but rating. Rating field, here we are trying to updating to the code. My client is asking update all 100 account records rating to the code. This is my requirement. What we will do? We will go to each and every account record and we will open that account record. We will update rating is equal to cold and click on the save button, right? Click on the save button. Suppose my client is expecting 10,000 records. 10,000 records. Suppose my client is expecting 1 lakh record. Suppose my client is expecting 10 lakh record. Then in this case, what we will do? Shall we update manually? Yes, we can update manually. I will go to each and every record and I will update rating field to the code. Yes, we can do that. But it will take lot of time, right? Okay. What I'm trying to say is we are trying to updating the data. Okay. How many ways we will update the data? Manually we will update the data, or we have tools are there. Manually we will update the data, or we have tools are there. Okay, tools are there. So how to update the data? how to update the data how to update the data by using tools. Okay, by using tools is nothing but how to update the data by using tool. That's what here we are trying to discussing. So what are the tools are there is nothing but the first one is data loader. The second one is workbench. The third one is import wizard. Okay, my requirement is we have to update the account record. Suppose one record or 10 record means we will directly go to that particular account record. We will update it manually. Okay, no issues. Suppose 1000 records are there. Suppose 10,000 records are there. Suppose 1 lakh, 10 lakh records are there. How we will update? Yes, we can update it manually, no issues. We will go to each and every record. We will open that particular record. We will update rating is equals to cold and click on the save button. But it will take lot of time, right? So to update the data, or to create the data, or to delete the data, all these kind of activities, we have lot of tools are there. For component migration, we have tools are there, right? Component means we are migrating from one environment to another environment, like workflows, fields. Like that, for data updation, data creation, data deletion, if number of records are more, then we will go and use the tools. What are the tools? Are there is nothing but the first one is nothing but data loader, the second one is nothing but workbench, the third one is import wizard. But the best tool is nothing but data loader. But the best tool is nothing but data loader. First we will discuss with the data loader. First we will discuss with the data loader. Here in data migration, two cases are there. Two cases are there. Okay, two cases. One case is we are updating the data. We are inserting, updating, deleting the data in the same instance. Okay, same instance. The second case is the second case is the second case is okay, the second case is, this is one instance. This is assume that this is my production instance. In production instance some records are there. In production instance some records are there. That records I want to move into the my test environment, or development environment, okay. So there are two cases are there in the data migration. There are two cases. One case is in the same instance. In this instance only I am trying to updating, I am trying to inserting, I am trying to deleting the data, so here there is no issue. Here there is no issues. For example, in this instance some records are there. That records I want to move into the test environment. That records I want to move into the development environment. How we will move? How we will move? Generally we will refresh the date, refresh the sandbox, right? Refresh the sandbox. Suppose refresh, once refreshed after 28 days only we have to again refresh, right? Again we have to refresh, right? Again we have to refresh. In between I want to move the data from one environment to another environment. So in data migration two cases are there. One case, in the same instance we are trying to updating the data, inserting the data, deleting the data, or in one instance data is there, that data I am trying to moving into another instance. That is the case. Two cases are there. Okay, move the data, move the data from one instance to another, to another instance. Okay, move the data from one instance to another instance. Both we should learn. Both we should learn. Okay, first we will go with the first case. Okay, in the same instance how we are going to create a record, how we are going to update a record, how we are going to delete the records. Okay, so for the second case we'll discuss in the next session. For both cases we will use either data loader or workbench or import wizard, but data loader is the best tool. Okay, data loader is the best tool. How to get the data loader? The first point is how to get the data loader. Okay, data loader. So go to setup. Okay, go to setup, where we will get from, where we will get the data loader. Go to setup. Okay, in the quick find we have to type it as a data space loader. Okay, data loader. See, under integrations we have data loader is there, right? Click on that data loader. Okay, click on the data loader. It will redirecting into this particular screen. Okay, it will redirecting into this particular screen. Okay, it will redirecting into this particular screen. Here you have to observe, download data loader for Windows. Okay, download data loader for Mac operating system or Windows operating system. In your laptop which operating system we are using, based on that we will just go and download the data loader into our local machine, into our laptop we have to download. Okay, once we download, it is a .exe file. We will get a .exe file. Okay, we have to double click on that one. Next, at the last point it will ask, there is, I mean Java is not installed in your machine, then it will ask there is no Java setup in your machine. You have to first Java, you have to install Java first, then you have to go with the data loader. I will provide the documentation. You have to learn how to install the data data loader, how to make the setup, we should learn. It is mandatory. I will provide the documentation, I will provide the link how to install the data loader. Okay, here we are using the data loader tool. Here we are using the data loader tool. Okay, we have lot of tools are there: data loader, workbench, import wizard. So first of all, how we will get the data loader is nothing but we have to install into our local machine. From where we will install is nothing but go to setup. In the quick find, you have to type it as a data loader, and once click on the data loader, it will redirecting into this particular screen. Okay, based on your operating system in your laptop, which operating system you are using, based on that you will just go on to download the data loader. Once you download the data loader, that is .exe file, you have to double click on this one. Next. Once before finishing, it will ask Java is not installed in your machine. Then it will ask, first you have to install Java. Okay, first you have to install Java. Okay, then we have to finish. Once we finished, okay, then where we will get this data loader is nothing but you have to go to the start menu. You have to go to, okay, in the start menu you have to type it as a data loader. Then here you have to observe data loader, and this is the version 50.0.0. This is the version. Click on this data loader. We will get one command. Then automatically it will open. Okay, insert, update, upsert, delete. Hard delete is in disable mode. Export, export on. We will discuss each and everything. Okay, once again, yeah, once we install the data loader, from where we will get this data loader is nothing but you have to go to start menu. And you have to type it as a data loader, and you will get this icon. Click on this one. Then one command prompt, it will open. After that, automatically we will get one pop-up here. Insert, update, upsert, delete. Hard delete will this is in disable mode. We'll discuss export, export all. Each and every operation you have to remember. And here you have to observe file is there, settings is there. Settings, just remember, settings are there. We will work with the settings. Okay, see here, when you will click on the settings, it will open one screen. We will discuss each and everything. Okay, in setting we have batch size is there. What is this batch size? Insert null values are there. Okay, insert null values are there. Allow comma as a CSV delimiter. Just use bulk API. Time zone is there. Okay, here you have to observe server URL is there. We will discuss. Okay, we will discuss each and everything. Okay, now my requirement. Before that, you have any questions? Up to now? Okay, now my requirement. My client is asking get all the accounts from your instance. Assume that I am working with this Salesforce. My client is asking you have to get all the accounts from the sandbox. You have to get all the accounts. How many accounts are there? You have to get all the accounts. For all the accounts, rating field you have to update to the code. This is my requirement. My requirement is update all accounts. Okay, update all accounts. What we have to update in all accounts? What is the condition here? My client is asking update all the accounts. Yes, which account I have to update? So we have to ask the condition. Generally, we will provide the condition. This is the condition. Fetch all accounts from instance. Okay, how many accounts are there? I am working in one project. In that project, 2 lakhs accounts are there. So they will give some condition. Okay, fetch all accounts from instance. We have to get all the accounts from instance. Then update rating field to the code for all those accounts. How many accounts are there? For all those accounts, we have to update rating is equals to code. This is my requirement. First, we have to verify what is this rating, what is this code in account object. So we have to go to the account record. Go to here, go to the app launcher, and you have to type it as a account. Click on the accounts. Click on account. then it will redirecting into this particular screen. Here you have to go to and you have to observe, is there any rating field? Yes, rating field is there. So for this rating pick list value, here client is asking update rating is equals to code. Yes, my client is expecting for all the account records there is a pick list field that is nothing but a rating that we have to update to the code. That is my requirement. That is my requirement. So the next one is here, fetch all accounts from instance. How we will get all the accounts from this instance? How many accounts are there? How many accounts are there? How we will find is nothing but we will just go and write one SOQL query. SOQL query that is related to the development we will discuss. We will discuss. But for our understanding purpose, I'm just writing one query. How many accounts are there? Go to developer console. Go to developer console. Okay. And so go to developer console, and here we have query is there. Still it is loading. Still it is loading. See, here we have below logs is there, test is there, checkpoints is there, query editor is there. First we have to understand how many accounts are there. Select id from account. Okay, what is this select, what is this id from account, we'll discuss. This is SOQL query, Salesforce object query language. This is a simple one, we'll discuss whenever we are discussing programming. Here we are trying to finding how many account records are there in my instance. So we are going to the developer console. We will go to the query editors. Here logs is there, test is there, checkpoints is there, query editor is there. You will go to the query editor and you have to write this query, select id from account. Here below we have execute button is there. Click on this execute button. See how many account records are there here. Total 110 accounts are there. Query results total rows are 110. So total in my instance 110 records are there. So my requirement is we have to update all the account records. So here we are using data loader. Step one is, step one, first get all the account records. Get all account records into your local machine. Into your local machine. First we have to get all the account records. First we have to get all the account records. My requirement is what? We have to update how many account records are there. All those account records rating we have to update to the code. That is my requirement. So first, whenever we are performing update operation, first we have to get the records right. How to get the records? How to get the records is nothing but we will just go and use data loader, workbench or import wizard. Here we are using the data loader. Here we are using the data loader. First what we will do, first what I will do is whenever we are using the data loader activity, first what we have to do is we have to create one folder. We have to create one folder in the desktop or C drive or D drive. We have to go and create one folder. Here I am trying to creating one folder. Is it mandatory to create a folder? Means it's not mandatory. It's not mandatory. We have to follow some process. We have to follow some process. Okay, we have to follow some process. I am trying to creating one folder in the desktop. I am trying to creating one folder in the desktop. My folder name is any name, but here I'm just adding it as a update accounts. Update account, and you have to mention the date also. You have to mention date also. Is it mandatory? Means no, it is not mandatory. It is not mandatory, but we have to follow some process. We have to follow some process before starting the develop. Before starting the data loader, first you have to go and create one folder, desktop or D drive, anyway. You have to go and create one folder. For that folder you have to mention what activity you are doing, update accounts, and you have to mention the date also. Why means I will explain. Okay, I will explain. So our first step is get all account records into our local machine, right? Get all account records. Go to here in the start menu. We have to type data loader. Click on the data loader. We will get command prompt. After that we will open one. We will get one pop-up. Here you have to observe insert is there, update is there, upsert is there, delete is there, export is there, export all is there. So here to get the accounts from sandbox or from production environment or from instance, suppose we want to get the account from instance. Suppose we want to get the accounts from instance into our local machine. How to get? Records are in the instance. Now those records I want to get into my local machine. Local machine, how to get is nothing but we will use either export and export all. Okay, the first point is to fetch the record. Okay, to fetch the record, to fetch the records, to fetch the records into local machine, we will just go and use export, export or export all, export all. So what is this export and what is this export all is nothing but, so first we will go with the export, then we will discuss with the export all. Okay, first we will go with the export and then we will go with the export all. Why we have to go with the export? First of all, my requirement is in my sandbox, in my trailer sandbox or production instance or sandbox, anywhere records are there. Now those records I want to get into my local machine, those records I want to get into my local machine. Then how to get is nothing but we will just go and use any tool. Here we are using the data loader, and I will just go and use export. Click on the export button. Once click on the export button, the system it will ask where you are trying to connecting. Okay, you are trying to connecting to which environment? Sandbox you are trying to connecting, or production environment you are trying to connecting? Which environment? And here there are two mechanisms are there: authentication mechanism, password authentication mechanism. Here we are using auth mechanism, and then we are trying to selecting environment, production environment. So ours is a Taylor version, right? Taylor version, we will call it as a production environment only. Okay. Ours is a Taylor version, right? Login.salesforce.com. Login.salesforce.com is nothing but production environment. We will call it as a test.salesforce.com is generally we will call it as a sandbox. Here we are working with the login.salesforce.com, right? Then you will just go and call it as a production. So go and select the production environment, then click on the login button. Click on the login button. Okay, click on login. Then again we will get one pop-up here. Okay, again we will get one pop-up here. You have to observe for which trailer version you are trying to connecting. I am trying to connecting to this sandbox. My username is sfdcad09@gmail.com. Select this one. Okay, first we have to connect to our sandbox. First we have to connect our sandbox. You have to enter your password. Okay, once you enter your password, then it will ask verification code. Okay, verification code, you will get a verification code to your email id. But in my case I am not getting any verification code. Why I am not getting any verification code in the sense means, you observed at the profile level, go to the profile level. Okay, we have ip address, we added the ip address. Okay, we added the ip address 0.0.0.255.255. That's why it is not asking any verification code. But in your case, suppose you are trying to log in from the data loader, from the data loader to your sandbox, you are connecting. That time it will ask the verification code. That time we will ask the verification code. Suppose you don't want the verification code, go to that your profile, and you have to under the IP ranges, you have to add the IP ranges. Then it will not ask the verification code. Here it is not asking any verification code. It is not asking any verification code. So first, once again, I'm trying to close this one. I'm closing this one. Again, go to the start menu. You have to select that. You have to type the data loader, and you will get this icon. Click on this one. We will get this command prompt. Then this is our one pop-up. Which operation here we are performing? That operation first we have to select. I am performing export. What do you mean by export? We are fetching. We are getting some accounts are there in my instance. Those accounts we are getting into my local machine, into my laptop. I am trying to getting. So here two buttons are there, export and export all. I'm going with the export. When we will go with the export all, we'll discuss. Click on the export. Once click on the export, then here you have to observe two mechanisms are there. We can use any mechanism. By default OAuth is there, we are using the same mechanism. And here the environments are there: production environment and sandbox environment. Production environment is nothing but that is called the trailer version. Trailer version is also called production environment. The environment we are using login.salesforce.com URL, then that environment we will call it as a production environment. Then click on the login button. Click on this login button, then it will redirecting into this particular screen. You have to enter your username and password. Okay, sometimes it will ask the verification code. That verification code you will get to your email id. You have to enter that verification code. Then it will redirecting into this particular screen. Click on this allow button. Click on this allow button. See, it is verifying Salesforce username and password as correct or not. It is verifying. See, login is successful, right? Login. So from data loader we are connected to my trailer version. From the data loader we connected to my trailer version. So login is successful, right? Once login is successful, then next button is automatically enabled. Next button is automatically enabled. When login successful, then only next button is automatically enabled. Click on the next button. Click on the next button. Then it will redirecting into this particular screen. Select Salesforce objects are there. Okay. Show all Salesforce objects. So here you have to observe some objects the system it will not show. Some object it will not show. So for example, here account team member is there. See that it is not available. Click on this one. Then it will show all the objects here. Then it will show all the objects. Okay, by default the data loader it will not show all the objects. Okay, then what we have to do, go to here, you have to check this particular checkbox. Check this particular checkbox. Okay, then it will show all the objects. Then it will show all the objects. Here which object we are trying to working. So we are working with the account object, right? We are working with the account object. So first what we did, we select step one. What we did, step one, select operation. Select operation, select export button. Select export button. Okay, then step two is what, then step two is what, step 2 is what, okay, and select the environment. Select the environment, right? Select the environment. Select select environment. Okay, select environment. Production environment or sandbox environment you have to select. Then the step 3 is what, step 3, on which object we are working. On which object we are working, we have to select the object. Select the object. On which object we are working, I am working with the account object. You will just go and select the object. Then here you have to observe, choose a target for extraction. So I am trying to getting those account record into my local machine. Yes, you are getting. Once you will get where you are storing those account record. Where we are storing those account record, we are storing those account record into CSV file formats. Here you have to observe extract dot CSV. CSV file format. We are getting the account records from the account object into my local machine. In the local machine where you are storing, where you are storing, I'm storing those account record into one CSV file. One CSV file we are trying to store it. That CSV file is nothing but any name. Here I'm just putting it my CSV file name as a account update. Account update. Where is this file, where we are storing this file? Just now we created one folder, right? Just now we created one folder. In this folder I'm trying to saving this file. While saving this file, see, I'm just storing into CSV format. CSV format. So while we are trying to exporting the data or importing, whenever we are coming into the data, the system always, the Salesforce system always allow the data in .csv format. In .csv format. What is this .csv format is nothing but, this is nothing but Excel. I am trying to opening my Excel. See here, go to here my Excel. This is my Excel. Suppose I want to save this Excel file. Suppose I want to save this Excel file. How to save this Excel file? Go to here. Click on save as. Click on save as. Click on save as. While saving this file, here you have to observe save as type is there, right? Save as type. Which format you want to save? We have to save CSV, comma delimited. So Excel file, CSV is nothing but Excel only. But whenever we are trying to saving, we have to select the type as a CSV, comma delimited. We have to select the type as a CSV, comma delimited. That is nothing but CSV file. So whenever we are coming into the data, whenever we are coming into the Salesforce, it should always support to the CSV file format only. CSV file format only. CSV file format only. That's why here we are trying to exporting the data into one file. That file name is nothing but update account, update accounts update. That file name is account update, and the format is nothing but CSV format only. CSV format only. We'll discuss. Okay, we have any questions, we'll discuss once this is completed. Then click on the next button. Click on next. Okay, here we selected the account object. Once we selected, we are telling to the system you have to export the data into this file. This file format is CSV file. This file format is CSV file. Then the system it is asking, then the next step, then the system it is asking, okay, in account how many account records we want to fetch, how many account records we want to fetch. So here the generated query will appear below. This is a text box. Here we will just go and write our query. Here we will just go and write our query, but before that choose the query field below, right? Choose the query field below. Here it will show all the fields which are available in the account object. It will show all the fields. It will show all the fields. So here which operation we want to perform? I want to perform update operation, right? So whenever we are doing update operation, the first thing is you will just go and select the ID of that particular record. ID of that particular record, you will just go and select ID. Okay, we'll just go and select the ID. Here ID. You will just go and select this particular checkbox ID. So automatically the system it will prepare one SQL query. Select ID from account. Select ID from account. Then scroll down here. Then what is our next field? What is our next field? What is our next field? Okay, what is our next field? One rating is there, right? Go to here, you will just go and verify. You will just go and select that particular field also. You will just go and select that particular field also here. Okay, so the system automatically prepare one query here. Select ID rating from account. Suppose you want directly write means, yes, you will just go directly write. Select ID rating from account. Rating from account. So here what is the select? Forget about that, we'll discuss. So here we are trying to updating account record, right? We are trying to updating an account record. Okay, we are trying to updating an account record. So the first field should be ID. We should use id. We should use id. Then in account which field we are trying to updating? Rating field, right? Rating is a standard field, that's why there is no underscore c. Rating is a standard field, that's why there is no underscore c. So we are the API here we are using rating only. Select id from account. Select id from account. Here some other checkboxes are there, we'll discuss that. We'll discuss. So here the first one is choose the query fields below, in the sense means which field we want. We want ID and which field we are trying to updating. Rating field, right? You will just go and select both check boxes. Once you select it, then the system automatically prepare one SOQL query. This is called SOQL, Salesforce Object Query Language. The system automatically prepare this one. System automatically prepare this one. Yes, it is prepared. Then what about this? These text boxes means we'll discuss that. We'll discuss that. Here we are preparing the query. Here we are preparing the query. While preparing the query from the account, lot of fields are there. See, in account a lot of fields are there, right? Which fields you want? Which field we want? I want this ID. This ID I am trying to taking for each and every record. We are trying to taking ID. Whenever we are doing update operation, we should use ID. This ID, every record has ID, right? ID plus I am taking this rating field. Rating field. So these two fields API we are taking from the account. Then click on the finish button. Click on the finish button. It is fetching the account records here. Total how many records are there? 110 account records are there, right? 110 account records. Those records it is exporting from the Salesforce and it is storing into one file. That file format is a CSV file. Now I will just go and open that particular file. Where is that file? Where is that file? Where we store that file? Okay, where is that file? Is nothing but, see, that file is under in the desktop only. That file is, see, that folder is under desktop only, right? See here, go to here. This is my file. Here you have to observe the look and feel. This is a CSV format. This is a CSV format. Click on this one. See here, click on this one. Click on this one. This is ID. For this ID rating is blank. For this account rating is blank. For this account rating is equals to hot. So we are fetching total how many records are there. You will just go and put your cursor here. You will just select this particular column. In below here it will show count is 111. Okay, total records are, you have to remove the header. The first record you have to remove and remaining 110 records are there. Total how many records are there in the CSV file? Suppose we want to find, how to find? Go to any one column, click, select this one. So below it will show count is 111. The first record we have to remove because of this is a header, right? This is header, this is id, this is rating. One record you have to remove, then that is nothing but remaining records. Total 110 records are there. So here we exported the data into our local machine and we are storing into the csv file. Salesforce always supports csv file format only. What is csv is nothing but go to excel, see here, go to excel. Okay, and while trying to saving this file, save as, while trying to saving this file, you have to select the csv comma delimited. You have to select csv comma delimited. That is nothing but csv file only. So we exported the data from account object, and we stored into this particular file. So first step completed, right? We are fetching the account records into our local machine, right? To fetch the records into local machine, yes, we are getting into our local machine, and where we are storing into the csv file, right? So how we are fetching? By using export. And what about the export all? What do you mean by export all? Is nothing but whenever we are click on the export button, the system, it will fetch the record from the account object only, but whenever we will click on the export all, what system it will do? So system, it will fetch the account records from the account object, plus suppose I delete this record, where it will go to? It will go to recycle bin, right? It will go to recycle bin. Suppose we delete this record, it will not permanently delete. It will go and store into the recycle bin, right? Go to here, recycle bin. Click on this recycle bin. See, just now we deleted one account record, right? So export all is nothing but account object, plus it will also search in the recycle bin. In the recycle bin, any account records are there. If records are there, then it will fetch those records also. Export means that particular object only. But export all is nothing but object plus recycle bin. It will also search recycle bin. In recycle bin also any account records are there. If yes, then it will also fetch those account records. In interview also they will ask what is the difference between export and export all. Export is nothing but from that particular object only. Export all is nothing but object plus recycle bin. We are writing SQL query, right? Select ID rating from account. So that satisfy condition. If that condition satisfied any record in the recycle bin, then those records also it will fetch. That is nothing but export all. Same operation. See, click on export all. You have to select the object where what is your file name, where you will store your file name. I am storing my file in this particular folder. See here, export, all, any name here, any name is anything, accounts update.csv, same, everything is same. Click on next. So you have to write your query here, select id rating from account. So whenever we are using this query, the system search it. Whenever we are using this query, the system, it will search in the account object plus recycle bin. Why it will search in the recycle bin? Because of we are using export all. You have to write a query directly, or you have to select these particular checkboxes also. Then the system automatically prepare this SQL query, so we fetch all these accounts. Okay, okay. Now what is my next step? The next step is update all those account records. Update all account records rating equals to code. You are getting those account records. Now update. So where we are getting those account record? We are getting into the csv file. So here what we have to do is first make copy this file. Okay, paste it here in the same folder. We are again making one duplicate copy. Of that file. Why we are making? In the sense that suppose any issues while updating this file, if any issues, we will use this file. Okay, first thing is we will just go and make one duplicate copy of this file. It is not mandatory. It is not mandatory. Suppose any issues on this file, then we will also use this file. Okay, we will just go and make a duplicate copy. Now click on this file, original file. You have to click on this file. You will click on this file. Then it will open. Here, what is our requirement? This is one account record. For this account record, rating is equals to blank. But here we have to update to the code. Directly we will not go to here and we will not update code. This is not the best practice. This is not the best practice. Directly we will not go to here. 1 second. So here, now coming into, now we are trying to updating the rating field. So what generally we will do, I will directly come into here, I will directly make it like code. This is manual activity only, right? We have to go to each and every record, we have to update. Here we have to go to each and every record, we have to update. So directly we will go to this particular column. We have to make this one as a code. That is not the best practice. That is not the best practice here. That is not the best practice here. Okay, why it is not a best practice in the sense means I will explain. So generally what we have to do is we will not to do anything on existing column. We will not do anything on existing column. Our target is what? We have to update rating field to the code. So generally what we will do, yes, this is a rating column is there. You have to go to this rating column, you have directly update to the code. So this is not the good practice. This is not the good practice. Then what we have to do? What we have to do? So we will just go and create one new column. That the column name you have to make it as a rating, and here you have to put this column name as a word. Here you have to put this column name as a word. Why is it mandatory? Means yes, we have to follow some process. This process we should follow. Why means why we will not do here directly only. What I am trying to say is we exported the data into CSV file. Once you exported the data, then what we have to do? You have to open that particular file, go to rating column. In the rating column, no, don't do directly here. Don't do directly here. Why we will not do directly? So we have to go and create a new column. The new column name is nothing but rating. This one is called old column. You have to make it as underscore old or any name. Generally we will use old. Now in this column you have to make it as a cold. In this column now you have to make it as a cold here. So put all columns here. Put all how many records are there. You will just go and put all the columns as a cold. All the columns as a cold. Don't touch this column. Don't touch this column. Don't make any changes on this column. So whenever we are exporting the data, suppose you have any column, you want to perform, you want to update any column, then don't perform any changes. You have to make that column as a, you have to make that column as a old column. You have to make that column as a old column, and you have to create a new column. You have to create a new column. Suppose I want to copy this one. So just copy this one and you have to paste it. Okay, you have to paste it. So here anyway, okay, see, you have to create a new column. Now you have, in this column you have to update. In this column you have to update. Why we have to go and create a new column? And why we have to update like this? In the sense means, suppose we will directly update here. I will make like a call like this. So after 1 week my client is asked, boss, this is account record. For this account record, what is the old value? Now you updated to the code, right? Before code, what is the value? What is the value? So suppose we are making changes on this column only, it's not possible to identify, right? You understand the concept here? So once we exported the data, then we will get a file. Go to that particular file. So whatever the column you are trying to updating, don't make any changes on that column. You have to create exact duplicate copy of that particular column. You have to create exact duplicate copy of that particular column. So in this column, you will just go and perform your changes. Why we have to perform the changes? So the old column, you have to make the name as underscore old. So what is the purpose? Is it mandatory? Means it is the best practice. Why it is the best practice? After 1 week or 10 days, my client will give this account ID. Was you updated account records rating is equals to cold, right? So this is my account record. Before updating cold last week, what is the value for this one? So suppose I will directly update in this column, then we will not find, right? That's when, suppose we are trying to creating a new column, then we will find it, right? Yes, for this column now we update it to the code. Before updating, there is no value. There is no value. That's why we have to create new columns. We will not do anything on this old column. Now I am trying to saving this file. Save as this one. Save as. Now we have to rename this one. We have to rename this one. Update accounts. So while renaming here, you have to observe save as type is nothing but CSV only. Save as type is nothing but CSV. So we exported the file into our local machine, and after that we prepared our file. Suppose here 100 records, suppose 1 lakh records are also there, then we have to do manually only. That is completely Excel work. That is completely Excel work only. We have to go to here, we have to add column, and we have to put for all how many records are there. Here only 100 records. Suppose 1 lakh records are also there. For 1 lakh record we have to add it. That is Excel work only. Now we prepared our file. Our file is ready. Our file is ready. Now we want to update the account records. Now we want to update the account records. I will update the record. Then you have any question, then we'll discuss. Okay, now go to here. Go to again data loader. Go to again data loader. Here we worked with export and export, all right. Why? What is the purpose? We are fetching the data into our machine by using export. Export all is also the same thing, but it will fetch from the recycle bin. Then what is our next requirement? Insert. We want to create new records. No, right? We want to update the records. Upset is there, delete will discuss. First we will go with the update operation. First we will go with the update operation. So before going into update operation or insert operation or upset operation or delete operation or hard delete operation, for all these 1 2 3 4 5, for all these 5 operation, before going into these 5 operation, go to settings. Okay, go to settings. Not export and export all, not export and export all, remaining export and export all. Suppose you are going with any operation, first you have to go to settings. Click on settings. Here you have to observe batch size is there, right? Batch size. What is this batch size? What is this batch size is nothing but coming into here. Okay, coming into here, I will explain. Where we are updating? In account object we are updating, right? Suppose in account object, how many records are there in our case? We downloaded total account records are 110 account records are there. 110 account records are there. Suppose I will specify the batch size as a 10. Suppose I will specify the batch size as a 10. Why we have to specify the batch size as a 10 means I will explain. Suppose we will specify the batch size as a 10. What system it will do? From these 110 record, first it will take 10 records. It will execute. So this 10 records, it will complete one transaction. One transaction. With a single shot, it will execute these 10 records. And after that, the next 10 records it will take. And after that, next 10 records it will take. And after that, next 10 records it will take. Like that, how many batches it will run? This is one batch. This is one batch. This is one batch. This is one batch. Total how many records are there in Excel? 110 records are there. How much we are specifying the batch size as a 10. So total how many transaction it will run? 11 transaction, right? One transaction, how many records it is executing? 10 records it is executing. That is nothing but batch size. So batch size means we are telling to the system in CSV file how many records are there, it doesn't matter. But for each transaction, we have to take 10 records. 10 records. You have to take 10 records for each transaction. 10 records you have to take means per batch you have to take 10 records. That is nothing but per transaction you have to take 10 records. So here how we will specify how much batch size we will specify is nothing but depend on our trigger programming. Trigger programming, how many triggers are there, how many triggers are there, those triggers are following the best practices or not. Based on that, we will specify the batch size. In account object, triggers is one development concept. Whenever we are using the data load, how much batch size we will specify is nothing but based on the trigger programming. How many triggers are there? Those triggers are following the best practices or not. Okay. Suppose you are working in one project and they will ask you the batch size. If record count is very less, like 10,000 or 10,000, then you have to go and specify the batch size like 10 or 20, 10 or 20. Okay, 10 or 20. Otherwise they will give the information while doing the data load. While doing the data load, you have to specify the batch size like 50 or 100, 50 or 100. Generally we will not use like 50 or 100, we will use 10 or 20, 10 or 20. Okay, so this batch size is completely depend on in account object. We have triggers are there. Triggers is nothing but it's related to the development. Those triggers are following the best practices or not. Based on that, we will specify the batch size. But how the admin knows whether those triggers are following the best practices or not is nothing but only one thing. If in the Excel less number of records are there, like 10,000 or 20,000, you have to make the batch size as a 20. Suppose you want to increase the batch size, then they will give the information box. You have to add the batch size like 50 or 100. Okay, they will give the batch size. Suppose they will not give any information, then while doing the data load, you have to specify the batch size as 10 or 20. Okay, 10 or 20. So one batch size is nothing but 10 records is nothing but per transaction it will execute 10 records at a time. So here 10 records are there, right? First it will take these 10 records, next it will take these 10 records, next it will take these 10 records. This is one batch, means one transaction. This is one batch under transaction. This is one batch under transaction. This is one batch under transaction. Got it? Or any questions? Any questions? So here we are taking the batch size as a 10. Why we are taking is nothing but you have to take generally 10 or 20 only. Okay, and click on enter. Okay, now we updated the batch size as a 10. Then which operation we have to select? Update operation, upsert, delete, insert. Update, right? We are trying to updating a record, right? Click on this update. Then it is asking which environment you are trying to connect in production, right? Select, click on login, click on this login, click on this. It is not asking username and password. Just now we logged in, right? So login is successful. Once login is successful, next button is enabled. Click on next button. Okay, then it will show some objects only. Suppose you want to show all objects, just select all the objects, select account, then choose CSV file, choose CSV file, click on the browse button, click on the browse button. See, so here we are working with the account object. In account object, we are trying to updating the record. Yes, where are those accounts? Where are those records? Yes, those records are in one CSV file. Where is that CSV file? Choose CSV file, browse, click on this file, click on this button. Where is our file? This is our file, right? Update accounts. Click on this open. So once we log in, we have to, before login, we have to select the operation, update operation we selected. Then we have to log in into our production environment, means our trailer version. Then we have to select account object. Then we have to select our file. Then click on next button. Click on next button. Okay. So here it will show, see, initializing Salesforce object and CSV file, right? It will show here. You have to observe, see how many records are there. See here it is showing, right? Your operation will contain 110 records. Yes, in our CSV file only 110 records are there. Click on this. Okay, then it will redirecting into this particular screen. It will redirecting into this particular screen. Here two buttons are there: choose an existing mapping and create or edit a map. So what is this one? We will go with the create or edit a map. Create or edit a map. What is this one here? What is this one? So this is my CSV file, right? This is my CSV file. In the CSV file, how many columns are there? ID one column is there, right? And another one column is there, rating underscore old is there, right? Right? And another column is rating is there, right? Rating is there, right? Now this data we want to update into the account object. Yes, in account object, some fields are there, lot of fields are there in account object. Then in account object, this data we have to move to which field? Which field? We have to map. We have to map. This is CSV file. Just uploading in the sense means the system it will not automatically update. We have to map. In the CSV file, we have one column ID is there. This column data you have to move in account object. ID field is there. Yes, you have to move into account ID. Okay, then rating is equal to rating underscore old. This data I am not mapping. This data only we are mapping. Yes, this data in CSV file one column is there. This column you have to move into in account object. We have one rating is there. Into this column you have to move. Into this column we have to move. That's what here. Create or edit a map. Current field mapping. So in the file column header, see in the file we have ID is there, right? Rating is there, rating and old is there, right? Then click on here, create or edit a map. Create or edit a map. 1 second. You have to observe here, you have to observe it will show all the account fields here, name, label, type. It will show all the account fields here. The file column header are these are nothing but CSV file. Then what we have to do, is, so ID means account ID only, right? You will just go to here, you will just go to your account ID. Any ID field is there, GHI or account ID, go to here. You have to go and verify account ID is there. Scroll down, ID, right? Go to here, EHI. See here ID is there, right? Just drag and drop. We are telling to the system we have one CSV file. In the CSV file, one column is there, right? That column is nothing but ID. That ID we are moving into account object. ID is there into that particular field. Now rating field is there, right? Go to your rating. Go to account rating. I think that is account rating. Go to here. Scroll down. Rating is there. Here rating field is there. Yes, just drag and drop. So in the left hand side, CSV file. In the CSV file, these are the columns, right? In the right hand side, we have to select for in account object is there. In account object, for which field we want to move this data, this ID field into this one, this rating field into this one. Then click on this. Okay, any question on this mapping? We have to map. Any questions on this one? Click on OK. Once click on this OK, here we selected create or edit a map and we mapped this field. These are left hand side is CSV file columns and right hand side is account columns. With this column data we are moving into this one. Then click on the next. Once click on the next, this is very important. See here, this is logs. Okay, this is logs. The system automatically generate the last step is whenever we are inserting, updating, deleting, hard deleting, the system automatically provide logs. Logs is nothing but the system automatically generate two files. One is success file and another one is failure file. Two files it will generate. Go to your browse. Okay, go to your desktop. You will just go and select. We are telling to the system we have to generate the log file in this folder. Just now we created one folder, right? In this folder we have to generate log files. Log files is nothing but success files and failure files. Two files the system automatically generate. What do you mean by success? What do you mean by failure? Is nothing but I am trying to updating 110 records. Okay, suppose some records based on validation rule, some records are failing or some other errors are there, so how we know these records are success and these records are failure? So the system separate those records. Some records it will move into, success record it will move into success file, and failure records it will move into failure records. What I am trying to say, this is total 110 records are there. So whenever we are trying to doing the update, some records may be chance for failure, some records success. So how we know these records are success, these records are not these records are failure? Is nothing but the system automatically generate logs. Okay, logs is nothing but this is a success file and this is a failure file. This is a success file and this is a failure file. Success file and failure file. So this is nothing but two files the system automatically generate. Then click on the finish button. Click on this one. Here you have to observe, see 10 records, next 20 records, next 30 records, next 40 records, next 50 records. How system updating 70 means we specify the batch size as a 10, right? Here you have to observe 90 success, 100 success, 110 success. Total all records are success. There are no errors. Then what we will do is nothing but go to our file. First we have to identify. See, go to our file here. See, success file is there, right? Error file is there, right? Where it is generated? Just now we created one folder, right? In that folder only it is generated, right? Open the success file. See, once you open the success file, see here, rating, see here, rating, item status is item updated, right? What is the old value for this record? Blank. Now it is updated to the code, right? We will just go and verify this one. Copy this one. We have to verify whether it is updated properly or not. Go to here, open any one account record. Okay, open any one account record. Go to here, accounts, account record, open any one account record. You have to go to the URL and you have to copy paste this ID, then it will open. Here you have to observe old value is for details. See, now the new value rating is equals to cold, right? New value rating is equals to cold, right? Old value is what? Old value is nothing but here blank. Now it is updated to the code. Suppose after 1 week my client is asking, boss, you updated some records, right? So what is the old value for this record? New value is cold. What is the old value? Now we are guarantee, right? So we will open the CSV file and we will find, yes, for this record old value is blank. Now we update it to the code. So in this way we will update the record. Today we discuss update operation. In the next session we will discuss remaining operation. If you have any questions, we'll go one by one. Okay.